I think CNN's lost their damn mind. So we're going to take a look at it and we're going to laugh together because this is just too funny to not have a look at it. Now, I know a lot of people that watch my videos don't actually watch CNN, but I'm telling you, they're so crazy today that we just can't skip over it. Also, President Trump offers an update on the Iran situation. And later on in the video, we're going to take a look at Macron getting beat up by his wife. Yeah, and Trump actually laughs at it. So buckle up because this is a pretty funny episode.
Both sides.
Yeah, I thought the debates were interesting. The back and forth was interesting. And, you know, look, you'll know better than me about how you think the court's leaning. I do think there's a large conversation. This is part of it going on in the country right now about who we're letting in here and why they're here and whether they are loyal to the United States of America. And that's a good conversation for us to have. Now, whether it gets resolved in this court venue or whether it gets resolved in Congress or in other ways. For instance, this conversation over birthright tourism that's going on. I mean, you have foreign adversaries set with companies that are set up to help people facilitate having births in the United States to exploit our system. That is a worthwhile thing for the American people to know. It's a worthwhile debate for us to have. So how the court comes out on this, I don't know. But that's information that we need to know because we do have foreign adversaries that are trying to infiltrate the country and exploit what's been our good nature for many years. Yep.
And it's happening more and more. And it's pretty freaking bad. And the fact that Democrats don't see this as a problem is a problem within itself.
I thought the missiles were gone. You just said this was our national security interest.
It is our national security interest.
So then why is the onus on Europe to clean up our mess?
The onus is on Europe to defend themselves, and the onus is on the President of the United States to defend the national security of the United States.
You're not asking Europe to defend
But Western
itself.
civilization is in this together, and these fanatics have missiles that can strike most of Europe, and they have nuclear material as well.
I think this is a disagreement about what alliances are. I mean, if we are really in...
Well, NATO hasn't really been doing its side of the deal, hasn't really been providing the appropriate amount of defense budget to the percentage of GDP, which has historically been 2% and recently got up to 5%. And now you got NATO countries, NATO allies that are saying, hey, you know what? We don't want to help the United States. Well, that's a problem because the United States has always been there for NATO. I mean, even countries like not NATO, right? Ukraine's not a part of NATO, and America's been sending more billions of dollars than all other countries combined. So, yeah, if America's saying, hey, come help, then the rest of the world better stop what they're doing and come help, or there's going to be consequences. And right now, we're finding out what those consequences are. I mean, Trump threatening to leave NATO. Will that happen? I don't know. A lot of people seem to want it to happen. We don't know if it's going to happen, but NATO better get their shit together.
President Trump's new order, as you know, to pay all Department of Homeland Security employees will provide welcome relief for these workers, especially the TSA workers. Do you give him any credit for that, Senator?
No, we've been trying to do it for 3 weeks.
Chuck Schumer is an idiot. I mean, come on, look at him with his tongue out. Come on. You're like an old man, dude. Put your tongue back in your mouth. What the heck? So ridiculous. I think Schumer's done soon. There's no way that he continues. I mean, he's been made such a fool to the entire world. I don't see how he could ever recoup all that bad karma that he's just, you know, brought to him.
These numbers are just atrociously awful. A double A for the Democrats here. I mean, just take a look here. Congressional Dems have the right priorities. Look at this. Overall, 74%, nearly 3 in 4 say no. Just 25% overall say yes. You might say, okay, well, at least Dems like Democrats. Not the case. Look at this. The majority of Democrats are independents who lean Democrats. Look at this. 55% say no, congressional Democrats do not have the right priorities. And then you just see a minority, 45% of Democrats say that congressional Democrats have the right priorities. This, to me, just jumps out of the screen because it screams primary challenges all over the map.
Ain't nobody like the Democrats, even the Democrats, and even CNN. The Democrat platform is now realizing, oh, that's not good. Democrats ain't doing so good. This is bad. This is real bad. There's nobody on the Democrat side that can put up a fight against the Republicans right now. And there's nobody on the Democrat side that makes any goddamn sense other than sometimes John Fetterman. So that's not a very good position to be in for a political party in a 2 political party system.
You know why NATO should care about this? It was just a couple of weeks ago that we learned that Iran has ballistic missile capabilities that can reach most of Europe. On top of that, does no one else here find it agitating that We spend billions and trillions of dollars over decades. We have U.S. troops stationed in all these bases with all these allies. And then when we decide that we need to do something that is in our national security interest, you have supposed friends of the United States saying, you can't use these bases. We're not going to permit this. We're not going to help you on that. It is agitating.
Don't they have a
It is
say?
agitating. But bottom line,
But doesn't NATO have a say in how to deal with
why doesn't
the
Europe
threat?
look at this ballistic missile
But hold on,
threat
Scott.
a little more seriously?
How
That's what I
doesn't
want.
NATO? Don't you think NATO ought to have a say? European countries ought to have a say in how you address that.
Don't you think America should have a say in the future on whether or not they support NATO's problems? I mean, come on, lady. Really? You're truly trying to argue this?
Right. I'm not disagreeing with you about the threat, but shouldn't they be consulted? Aren't they not right to wonder why weren't they consulted before Trump decided to wage a war? It sounds like you think it's in their defense.
Well, it is.
Shouldn't they have been consulted?
It is in the defense of all of Europe now that
Shouldn't they have been
see that the
consulted?
ballistic missile threat
But
is
Scott,
real. No one can deny that.
Should they have been consulted?
Consulted? I mean, look, we decided it was in our national security interest.
Oh, okay.
Why they don't understand that it is in theirs is beyond me, and I think that's what leads to the president's agitation with them.
If it's about our national security interest, that makes sense, right? But if it's in theirs, they should be consulted. If this war is about Europe's security, shouldn't Europe be consulted?
It's about our national security. But along the way here, what we've all learned is that Europe is under threat.
If this is about us,
my point is,
if this is about us,
why
this
are
is
they
our
too dumb to
war.
realize that these ballistic missiles can reach most of Europe's capitals?
I thought the missiles were
It's
gone.
silly.
You just said
Yeah, all those long-range ballistic missiles, they're not reaching the West. They're not reaching America or Mexico or Canada. They're reaching parts of Europe. Now, that's a far way to go for these missiles. But still, for Europe to not realize, oh, okay, we're actually under imminent threat now that Iran has these capabilities, but not, not being there to do what President Trump says they should be doing. It's weird, don't you think?
The issue that I wanted to get into is birthright citizenship. By simply asking this question. When the president walked in to the Supreme Court today, the first time in U.S. history that a sitting American president walked into the courts to attend oral arguments at the Supreme Court, staying for over an hour, according to the reports, to hear their thoughts, their questions, their inquiry, their opinions on birthright citizenship in the United States of America. How'd you feel about that? I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't blame him. He campaigned on this issue. He's been accused of not paying attention to stuff that's happening on our home soil. You want to do something politically expedient to your benefit? If you're President Donald Trump, this is the fight you fight, because millions of Americans flow with him on this issue.
Oh, yeah.
And the reason why it's an issue that's important to tackle is because remember what the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution states. Remember what it states. Birthright citizenship in the United States of America, established by the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Meaning if you are born on U.S. soil, you are a U.S. citizen automatically. Automatically.
What do you guys think about this, huh? What do you think about this birthright citizenship? Because a lot of illegals have been smuggling their pregnant wives into the country in order to abuse this system. And it is a problem. And it seems like one of the few places that actually rewards this type of behavior is, unfortunately, the United States. Hopefully not for much longer, though.
Here's the part that we have to ask ourselves. And this is where the conversation gets uncomfortable. Do you believe in birthright citizenship as an American citizen? Do you believe that somebody that crosses our borders illegally to give birth on American soil, that their children their newborn should automatically be an American citizen. According to the United States Constitution, there is no argument there. What I'm asking you is,
yeah, I mean, it's bananas to even entertain this idea. The only way to become an American citizen is to be a legal immigrant and then be born in America. If you're just spawning, you don't get to be crossed up, across the border illegally, either in the womb or before that process even starts. Be born in America from illegals, right? Your parents would be illegals in that instance, and then automatically get to be an American citizen. That's crazy. That's a freaking loophole, and it's going to be totally abused, right? That's insane to me. It's insane to so many people, but who cares about what I think? You're the viewer. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. You support birthright citizenship, or do you think that there needs to be some changes? Then President Trump took to truth and said the biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down to never be used again. Much more to follow. It is time for Iran to make a deal before it is too late, and there is nothing left of what still could become a great country. President Donald J. Trump. And you can see the bridge in the distance. It totally collapses. There it goes. Boom, into rubble. Wow. They better start making a deal soon.
Then I call up France, Macron, whose wife treats him extremely badly. And he's still recovering from the right to the jaw. And I say, Emmanuel, we'd love to have some help in the Gulf, even though we're setting records and knocking out bad people and knocking out ballistic missiles. Would love to have some help. If you could you please send ships immediately? No. We cannot do that, Donald. We can do that after the war is won. I said, no, I don't need after the war is won, Emmanuel. Many of them said, we'll be there after the war is completed.
So this comes after Emmanuel Macron got beat up by his wife. This is the video in question right here, where he's trying to get off the plane, gets whacked in the face from the cockpit side of the plane. Now keep an eye on the hand. You see how it's a red long sleeve? Well, let's fast forward a little bit to when he gets off of the plane. Oh, whoopsie daisy. There's the abuser. Is that the same hand and the same red long sleeve? Oh my goodness, for President Trump to be saying that is just absolutely hilarious, right? I think it's so freaking funny. Well, Emmanuel Macron, soon to be removed from office, then took to the press and he complained about it. Now, it is in French, so we're not going to listen to it. But it transcribes to Macron saying, in response to Trump's comments that his wife beats him up, he says, Trump talks too much. His remarks are neither elegant nor up to the standard. Well, Macron, neither is the way that your wife treats you. So, yeah. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in another one. Bye for now.